Hi everyone. Let's take a look on how to create instant triggers in your Make account from making changes in your Airtable base. At this stage, we assume that you've created a connection between Airtable and Simplified Webhooks, and we also assume that the connection between Make and Simplified Webhooks has been done. If you didn't do so, please watch the previous videos, quick and easy. It's not a lot to do, but you need to create the connections, otherwise it doesn't work. But yeah, as a preparation for this video, I already created an empty scenario on Make, and I also have a test base here in our test Airtable account. Let's create a webhook for updated records, and then we talk about the benefits on what's the cool thing about it, about using webhooks instead of like automations or something like that. We choose a webhook here. We choose the module watch updated Airtable records, right? Because we want to receive triggers for updates. Basically, all we got to do is we choose the base, we choose the table, and then we choose the columns on when we want to receive a trigger. For tasks, this could be when they're done, maybe a project has been finished, maybe a task has been moved to a different colleague of yours and you want to send him an email or her. Let's turn on the scenario here and jump into Airtable and let's do some changes. So if we change the status to do, we receive the trigger. As you can see, it's really fast. And you can see the previous values was empty. Now, if we change the status, I think this way it works. If we change the status to in progress, not sure if it now, has it already pressed? Not sure. You will see that it shows the previous value to do, and now the current value is in progress. Sometimes that's really helpful because you want to prohibit certain changes or something like that. And you also see who has changed it. So who was it that messed up the data in your database? Now, obviously, it's not about blaming, but it's about understanding. That's basically all there is, right? We chose two columns, the assignee. This one works as well. So if you change that one, you also receive, you will also receive a trigger. As you can see, they're quite literally instant. And also here, you receive the previous value and the current value. Obviously now you can just keep going. And for me personally, I've been using our own tool. I have so many Airtable projects for myself, for clients. And I was used to, going into the automations in Airtable, setting up a script or like creating a trigger, then setting up a script, and then triggering a general webhook in Make. Obviously it works. At some point you have the code you need in the script part, you have it ready. But there's a real quality of life improvement here because you can select multiple columns here. There are these use cases. For example, you have your employees in one table and you want to update, your HR tool whenever an employee has moved, there is a new address, or maybe they're married and the last name has changed. And so you really want to get a trigger whenever something has been updated in 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. In Airtable, this would mean that you would basically either create one automation which triggers whenever any of these 8 columns have changed. But if you want to be very specific and say, let's say whenever the last name has changed, then I want to do this. Whenever the address has changed, I want to do this. And this way you can do it. You can specify those, and whenever you receive the columns, here, let's simply go there. Whenever you get the column, hey, assignee or status, whenever the change is there, then okay, the status has changed, the last name has changed. And that's a huge quality of life improvement. Also, nice to have is that I don't have to leave Make. So, obviously, most of the times you work in Airtable and in Make, you have both tabs open, but sometimes you want to set up a scenario, you know exactly what you want to do, and then you don't want to leave Make. And so I think, for me personally, there's no way going back, and I really appreciate the simplicity of it. And I hope you do experience the same joy of using it as I do. If you don't, please let me know so we can improve. But otherwise, Enjoy. Bye bye.